Hey guys, I would first like to say thank you so much for all the feedback on the video I posted about the song that I'm working on. I really appreciate all the feedback, all the likes, the shares, the comments, everything. Much appreciated. I am just leaving the gym, hence my no excuses shirt. I'm trying to get snatched. And as I was leaving the gym, in the parking lot, it was a couple out there and they were arguing, and the guy was saying how extremely insecure the girl was. And it's such an ugly word, yet so many of us are insecure or have insecurities about things. And I journal because I find it to be very therapeutic for me. And I remember journaling about being insecure. So I said I was going to go home and see if I could find it. And I did find it. And I wrote it about a year ago. And it was really good. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So the word insecure means, it's a Latin word. In meaning not, securus, I think I'm pronouncing it right. Meaning free from care. So not free from care or worrying. And there were a lot of definitions under the words insecure, like plagued by anxiety, lacking stability, troubled. But the one that really stuck out to me was inadequately guarded or protected. And that one really stuck out to me because I was like, wow, you know, as somebody who's a child of God, that really goes against God. Basically, you're saying that you're not adequately protected. And so I straight went to the Bible and was like, wow, this, it's one of those things that go with fear and being insecure, and it's not of God. So what is being insecure? How do you know if you're insecure? So insecure people have very specific behaviors. I wrote a person is always worrying about what other people think of them. Someone who insults or bullies others to feel better about themselves. People who lie about their alleged success in order to impress others. People who don't want anybody mad with them, so they just go out of their way to do things. Those people are insecure. Those are all behaviors of insecure people. And basically, insecure people hide their real, who they really are, in fear of rejection of other people. So, insecurities, all of them actually, stem from a certain rejection or a bad experience that somebody has had. I'll share one of my insecurities. It's really stupid, but I'm going to share it. I grew up apostolic. And back in the day, I'm not that old, but back then, I should say, women didn't wear pants. So I remember going to school and just really being insecure about my outfits because I was different from everybody else. And it would always be a subject, or to me, I thought it was the subject that everybody talked about. And I remember it being winter, and I would have on a skirt, and people would be like, oh, aren't you cold in your skirt? And I would have to pretend like I'm not cold. No, I'm not cold. I'm fine. I would be in my skirt and stockings and boots. But it made me really insecure about how I dressed. So I became very obsessed about my outfits, and I wanted everything to be perfect. And so that was an insecurity of mine. And those insecurities can start small, but they can really grow into a way bigger thing. It could have been where I was didn't want to go and socialize with other people, or not want to be in big crowds because of how how I dressed and different things like that. Thank God it did not. But those small insecurities that you have are important to face because they can grow into bigger things. And so if you think back on any insecurity that you may have, whether it's your hair or your skin color or your weight, whatever it is, it all stems, it goes back to something in your life that happened, a rejection or a bad experience. And so you have to really go back and just really think about those things and really get to the root of it, because insecurities or being insecure is not of God. And the places that God want to take you and doors that you want to open, there's just no room for insecurity and fear. They just can't work together. So we have to make sure that we tackle those things and ask God to help us with those things so that we can grow and, go as far as we can in life. So when we're dealing with insecurities, the one thing that you have to realize off jump is that everyone will not like you. Everyone will not accept you. Number one, God made all of us different. That's just the way it is. Everybody's not going to like everything about you. Ted, just may not like red. It has nothing to do with you. The shirt that you have on is red. Ted don't like it. He just don't like red. It really doesn't have anything to do with you. So I'm reading a book called The Four Agreements. It's a really, really good book. If you guys have not read it, you really should. And in the book, it was talking about not taking everything personal. Sometimes we just feel like the whole world revolves around us, and to be honest, it's just not that important to everyone. People have their other insecurities or other things going on, and they're just not even thinking about you and your red shirt, So you have to realize that, God made all of us different, and everybody's just not going to accept you. You can't be that person that everybody's going to like, no matter how hard you try. But when people do reject you, you have to realize that that takes nothing away from you. I wrote down the iPhone example. When iPhone gets ready to, make a phone, they put all the features in it. They do it. They, go down a list. They put their stamp of approval on it, and they ship it out. Whether, thousands of people buy the iPhone or they like it or whatever, it still doesn't take away the fact that that phone is an iPhone. Whether people buy it or not, it still has that stamp of approval. And that's the same thing with, you and God. God made you exactly the way that he wanted you to be. So when you start to criticize things about you, you're, in essence, you're criticizing God's workmanship. And that is definitely a no-no. So we have to make sure that we don't let these things grow. And if there is something you're insecure about, like I'm insecure about my weight, but guess what? I'm doing something about it. You have to tackle those things, straightforward. If you can change some things, try your best, put your best foot forward, ask God to help you, and he will help you. And that'll be something, an insecurity in the past, and you can scratch off the list. So we just have to know that God made you. If people reject you, you're still awesome. That takes nothing away from you. And he put his stamp of approval on you. He shipped you out. So no matter what other people say about you, or who says this, or if Ted don't like you and your red shirt, it's okay. There's always somebody else who will. There's always a better fit, a better solution, or a better match. We have to remember that God works from the end to the beginning. So we have to learn to trust God. No matter what, we have to trust God. I have a scripture in there that says, I think it's Philippians 1:6. It says, being confident of this very thing, that he who begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. So, whatever it is that you may have an insecurity about, pray about it. God will, help you with it. And he's going to finish a good work in you. So you just have to remember that. To trust him, to be confident and not insecure. You have to, I have to get this. I said the places that God says, the places that I'm going to take you and the doors that I'm going to open for you have no room for fear. worrying, or insecurities. I have to walk in the confidence of the God I serve. He sent and loves me. So if you do have insecurities about anything, do the work. If it's something you can change, take action. Do what you can to change it. Ask God to help you, and He will help you to change it. Whether it's to do better or to wipe that out, whatever it is, God is right there. And you have to trust Him. Trust and believe that He knows how He made you. He knows what He wants for your life, and that you just have to trust Him. So we need to get rid of those insecurities. I wrote a list down about all the insecurities I had about myself, and I asked God to help me to, knock them off the list, because there's just no room for insecurities and worries and stress in God. So I hope this really helped someone like He did me. And I hope you guys have a good night.